Hello, class. Speaking to you is Remy Ilona, your instructor for the Summer A class of Introduction to the Bible, RLST 010. Working this summer with you through this course is Alexander Zamusinski. He is your TA. Both of us are going to study with you to make sure that you finish this course with a very profound knowledge of this instrument, the Bible, that is generally believed to be the most well-read, popular book in history. So, prepare yourself to have a very good time with these instruments that many scholars say undergirds the foundation of the profound civilization called Western civilization, which some people also call Judeo-Christian culture. Many people around the world believe that what I just talked to you came about because of the interaction of various societies and cultures with the instrument we are going to look at, which is the Bible. Now we would get into the structure of the Bible itself. It's a very large book spanning hundreds and hundreds of pages. Depending on where you are coming from, you could view this book as one. You may also view it as two books. We are going to look at both views of the Bible. We recommended the text, New Oxford Annotated Bible with Apocrypha, College Edition by Coogan, M. Bretler, C. Perkins. That is what we recommended for this course. If you are looking at this Bible from the Christian perspective, you would look at it as one instrument, because the Christians look at the entire Bible as one. I will get you informed now about why I'm saying the entire Bible. But if you are looking at this Bible from the Hebrew or Israelite or Jewish perspective, I'm mentioning terms you are very, very familiar with. And I will also add, if you are looking at the Bible from the Igbo perspective, if you are looking at this Bible that we recommended for this course from the Igbo, Hebrew, Jewish, Israelite perspectives, you would see it as two documents, the Old and the New Testament. Some people have called the Old Testament the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament the Greek Bible or the Christian Bible. So you can see why I kept on saying the entire Bible when I referred to the Christians, because to the Christians, the Old and the New Testament are one. While to the other categories I mentioned, the Hebrews, the Jews, the Israelites, the Igbo, who consider this text as the scripture of their religions. What we recommended for this course is two Bibles. The first part that I referred to as the Old Testament is to them the scripture of their religions. And the other part, the New Testament, is the scripture of the Christian religion in the views of the Hebrews, the Israelites, the Jews, the Igbos. You should even include the Karaite and the Samaritans. The advantage of studying along with me and Alexander for this summer is that you would get to understand the Bible from more perspectives than the traditional perspective. Usually, people would not bring in the Igbo, the Karaite, the Samaritan perspectives, but these are also religions that see the Bible as their scriptures. So you are going to finish this course with an advantage. The purpose of this course is to introduce students to the contents of the Bible and the books and the tools that scholars use to understand the Bible. The class examines contemporary interpretive stances, history, methods, and major themes through the study of portions of the Bible. Here, we help you to look at how to even interpret the Bible, because it's not just a storybook. Even when it seems to be telling you stories, it's passing on fundamental information to you. We also look at its history. When was it written? Then we look at the methods used to understand it. This is, again, where you have a profound advantage. I included Omenana as one of the religions that view the Old Testament as its scripture. There are certain instruments in this religion that help us to understand the Bible more. Then we will look at the meta-narratives used by reading the recommended and the required portions of the Bible. You will get an idea of the major stories of the Bible. This course looks at the Bible through a scholarly lens, examining its religious and literary impacts and how it has been treated. We will be reading excerpts from the Bible as well as secondary interpretive sources. There are no prerequisites for this course, and no prior knowledge or familiarity with the Bible is required. Even if you have not opened this Bible before, if you follow faithfully our guides, the videos we are going to produce, because this course we have a lot of videos. Read every section of the recommended and required books you find in the syllabus. You will discover that even though you didn't open the Bible before you enrolled for this class, that you are going to finish with good. Let me not use the term adequate, with a strong knowledge of this profound literature. Now we would begin to look at the book itself. There are many stories of creation in the world produced by a lot of religions. We would look at the creation story we find in the very first book of the Bible, which in the Hebrew language is Bereshit. The Bible tells us that there was nothing at the very earliest stage of existence of anything in this world apart from one supreme being that the Bible in the English language calls God. This God brought about the world using the spoken word. In other words, he caused creation. He created everything by causing them to be created from the words of his mouth. Everything you see in the world, he created in 6 days. Man, in English language, means you and I, human, was the last thing he created on the 6th day. And that human being he created, he called Adam. Here I mentioned that people that are partaking of this class, people that enrolled, have a unique advantage. They are going to get much more information than people usually get when they are studying the Bible. I mentioned that one of the religions that see the Old Testament as their Bible is Omenana. Omenana has a language called Igbo. Human being is also called Mado. You can correlate this to Adam, which is the name that this creator called the first human being he created, Adam. You can see it's the same word twisted backwards like this. He placed this man in a garden called the Garden of Eden. And then, after a while, this creator realized that this man was lonely. So he caused him to fall into a deep sleep. And from his rib, he took out from his side, he took out one of the ribs and used it to create a being similar to him, which the man named Eve. So you have the first man and the first woman in the world. The idea in this Bible is revolutionary. What it teaches us, that's why I said at a stage that when it's telling a story, it's also passing profound information. It's telling us that be you European, be you American, be you African, be you Australian, you all came from one man and one woman. So these two, God gave them some rules they were to live with in that garden that he placed them. He said, eat of every fruit, every vegetable, every herb you see in this garden, but avoid just one fruit from one tree. Don't touch it. The very minute you touch it, you are going to die. They listened. Probably they understood, or probably they did not understand. One day, one of the animals that God created, the Bible called it the snake or the serpent, approached the woman and told her to eat of this fruit. Obviously she said no. God said we shouldn't eat it. The serpent convinced her to eat, saying that God only wanted you not to eat because if you ate, you will become as wise as God. So she ate and passed some to the husband when the husband came back, and he also ate, and their eyes were opened and they realized that they were naked. Sometime in the day, later in the day, God came and called the man. The man said, I am ashamed because I'm naked. God asked, who told you that you are naked? You have eaten the fruit. Because you have eaten the fruit, you have to pay the price. Henceforth, you man, we have to labor. You have to sweat to find a means of livelihood. And you woman, you have to labor while bringing out children. Then God, in kindness, clothed them and removed them from the garden. This was the fate, the story of the ancestors of humanity that we are representing today. This is their story. It hasn't ended yet. They mated and produced 2 sons, Cain and Abel. Cain was the oldest. He was a hard-hearted guy. Abel was meek. These 2 sons offered sacrifices to God. The Bible made us to understand that Cain did not offer from a good heart. while Abel offered from a good heart. And God accepted the offering of Abel, and Cain, in anger, committed the first murder. He killed the brother. And when God asked him, "Where is your brother?" he said, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And God banished him. God turned him into a vagrant. His parents had to have more children. They mated again and produced a son called Seth. If you are in the world today, you descended from Adam, Eve, Cain, and Seth. We will stop here, but you have now gotten a very, very basic idea of the Bible, is structured into the Old and the New Testament. The Old Testament is for the Hebrews, the Israelites, the Jews, and their religions, which we know as Judaism, Omenana, Samaritanism, Karaism. The New Testament is for the Christians. In the recommended text, they all came together and are seen as one Bible by the Christians. While if the other community I also mentioned want to look at them, they will look at them as one document but containing two different sets of scriptures for the two major religions. If you are to be very broad, you would say these are the Israelite religions and this is the Christian religion. Thank you. Enjoy as we proceed on this powerful course. Thank you.